Okay, we're now live. Hi, this is Elliot Fishman, and I'm home, which explains that when I glare, let me just move over a little bit. You can see all my guys, all my toys, and my grandchildren's toys in the background, and some family pictures. And welcome everybody. And we did something different this week. It's 7 a.m., and I can see a lot of you aren't here. We tried to do this to see if it would make a difference in terms of attendance. We get a lot of people on the Facebook Live, but most of them aren't at the time of the presentation. It's 95% of the people will be watching us later on. So truthfully, for those people, it doesn't matter if we're live or not or when we are live. So I thought perhaps, and Lily and I thought, and Sarah, what if we did it earlier? We have so many people who are overseas. Now, obviously, this is 7 a.m. East Coast time. I would normally be at work, and I'm not at work right now, but I'll go into work after. And I'll be stopping for bagels, which is, as Hopkins has lowered these warnings about COVID, temporarily at least, you can get bagels. Now, you can't eat with anybody. You can eat by yourself in your office, so at least we'll do that. But so I'm home, and if you're on the West Coast, it's 4 a.m. If you're in however, our friends in Asia, Africa, Europe, and places like that, Australia, it's actually in the afternoon or late morning. So we thought we would do that. And this week, so welcome everybody. This week, we picked the title of the Super Bowl because those of you in the U.S. know, and those of you worldwide probably know that this is the Super Bowl. I guess I could have also called it the Olympics, so maybe I'll call it the Olympics and the Super Bowl at the same time. I'm not that interested in the Super Bowl, though we did post yesterday this excellent commercial from this chips thing with a person putting their hand in the chips. But anyway, you can watch it from yesterday. But I guess many people aren't interested unless you're from Los Angeles or you're from Cincinnati. So it should be a good game. I think Cincinnati's been running a really lucky because Kansas City was far better and Kansas City blew it last week. So maybe you think that Cincinnati is just predestined to win. And of course, Los Angeles was lucky because they beat Tampa, which should have won, and Tom Brady would have gone out with another Super Bowl. But nevertheless, I'll pick Los Angeles, but I don't care. And the Olympics is going on. I think the U.S. won a few medals, and people are skiing, people are tobogganing, people are ice skating, people are doing all sorts of crappy things in the winter. Of course, there's no snow, so they had to make snow. But whatever. White is white as far as I'm concerned, and it's cold out as far as I'm concerned. So that probably doesn't matter really. But I really don't care about the Olympics. I mean, there's a time difference, but I don't care if the time was exactly Baltimore time. I don't care. I don't know how many of you care about a bunch of people skiing. Some of you, of course, rather be skiing. I did speak to some people from Hopkins who went skiing last week, and they went to Utah, and they said there was no snow. It had to be made. So even in the U.S., I know it's cold out west, but places like Utah, Park City, and places like Telluride in Colorado, all those places are having an issue with the lack of snow. But Baltimore, we have no snow, and I think it's supposed to be 50 degrees tomorrow, which is a Wednesday, which is very good in February. No, tomorrow's Friday, but today's Thursday. But what I mean is it's the middle of February. Today's the 10th. It was my sister's birthday. And you know that it's just pretty warm for February. We had a little snow this year. Once you get to mid-February and you hadn't had snow, you can still get snow to April, but it's not going to be that snow that sticks around for 3 months. So that part's good. So everyone's enjoying the winter. And COVID numbers are getting better. We're down to 1 floor of COVID patients at Hopkins internally, so that's great. Hopefully that floor will close maybe in the next week or so. Hopefully we won't get a new variant. So I think everyone's fingers are crossed. Where do we go from here? And also for those of you with children under 4 or under 5, it looks like the vaccine should be approved by the end of this month. So hopefully you'll be able to get vaccinated. So that becomes very, very important. And you know, the numbers are 11 million kids between 6 months and 4 years in the United States. And many of them have gotten sick with the recent COVID infection. So more protection will indeed be better. Now, why did I pick the Super Bowl title this week? Well, because the Super Bowl is on Sunday. Okay, that's an easy reason. It reminds me of a story of Steve Jobs, and I thought I would share this story with you. This goes back to many years ago. This is when Donald Schaefer was the governor of Maryland. So this is going back to probably the mid to late the mid 90s, roughly the mid 90s. He used to be the mayor of Baltimore, and then he became the governor for a couple terms. And Steve Jobs was then out of Apple, and he was the head of Next. And Next, like Apple's big focus was on education. So Steve visited the governor. He visited the governor roughly this time of year, in March, I think, right after the Super Bowl. And that's when the Baltimore team, I think it was the Baltimore Colts, right? We're the Baltimore Ravens now because the Colts left and went to Indianapolis, and that went during Schaefer's term. But when they were still the Colts, they won the Super Bowl, okay? Which was great and everything. I couldn't care less. But they won the Super Bowl. People in Baltimore went crazed over the Super Bowl and everything like that. So when Steve Jobs went to the governor spoke about that we won the Super Bowl, that Maryland's a great state, Baltimore's a great city, we won the Super Bowl. And Baltimore's a great state, and Maryland's a great yada, yada, yada. And then Steve turned to Governor Schaefer and says, well, that's one way of looking at it. You won the Super Bowl. But you know what I think? You know what the Super Bowl is? Education. Let me see now. You're Baltimore, the city that reads, REEDS. You rate 45th out of 50 states in education. You rate 47 out of 50 states in people dropping out, people not finishing high school, people not finishing elementary school. Your total educational process is in shambles. Governor, if I was the governor of your state, I would be worried of being in the Super Bowl of education. I would want to know that my state was number one in education. My state was number one in graduating people from high school and having people go to college and having people read and having people be astute at using computers. That's where I'd want number one to be. I don't want to be number one simply of, the football, which means absolutely nothing. Wait, I got a phone call here. I gotta tell my guys. Hey, Whitney, hey Sam, hey Max, I'm live on CTisus. You guys can visit me. I'll say hello. Okay? I'm speaking to. I love you too, sweetie. But if you go online, you can see me, and I'll say hello to you. Okay? You ready? Okay, Whitney, show them. CTisus. Bye. So that's my grandchildren. They're gonna be watching momentarily. So let's see when I see them here, and then I'll give them a shout out. They're in New York. But yeah. So what about education? Shouldn't we be worrying more about education than the Super Bowl? We should be worrying how, particularly in this COVID era, how people will be coming out of the Super Bowl. And the Whitney's on. So hey Max, hey Sam, how you guys doing? I hope you have a great day in school, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in New York. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun. Okay. Now I can't see you guys, but I know Whitney just did the hi grandpa thing. So I'll see you guys tomorrow and have fun at school. And I got my Nutter Butters. I'm bringing Nutter Butters. That's a long story, but we eat Nutter Butters in the morning, and when no one's looking, we try to sneak them into bed. But they're usually too sharp on us. But we get them anyway. Anyway, so the question is, should you worry more about being number one in education? Should we be training people so that we are really good? Now, COVID has hurt, particularly the elementary schools, people wearing masks, people being remotely. It's been a disaster, and it's very hard to make up time. You know, many of us haven't traveled. I would travel 30 times a year, give talk at meetings and stuff like that, and I'm not going to make it up. You know, you'll travel hopefully after COVID and all this and all that, but you're never going to make up the 30 meetings a year you missed. And that's okay, because I did that for many years. It's sad, but it's not the end of the world. But for a lot of children, they've not traveled, they've not gone to stores, they've not had and I'm not talking about anything fancy. I'm talking about going to the movies. I'm talking about going to the park. I'm talking about interacting with your little friends where, you know, it's one thing, kids have been great about wearing masks. The parents have been pain in the asses, but kids have been great in wearing masks. But wearing masks is not normal. You know, if you like this, you could see my eyes, but you can't see my face. You can't see my lips moving. You can't really understand emotion. And also, it's this coldness. No matter how hard you try. Now, I think teachers have been great and people have been great about working through all of that. But it just isn't the same. And so, one hopes that if this COVID thing is getting better and the vaccines are there, we can get back to normal. I know at my grandson's school, the older, um, they're now at lunch going to let kids sit near each other. Now, obviously, during lunch, you had to take your mask off, but kids were far apart. Now there's no sharing food, but the kids will be able to sit near each other and they can talk during lunch. I mean, the humanity of it all. Now, I think there's no doubt that people have fallen back, that kids have not gotten a lot of the things they need to have. So I think it's going to be very important that we aim to win the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl is education. The Super Bowl is teaching. The Super Bowl is what is it we need to get back to where we were. I think that's really the crisis as far as I'm concerned. That's what we need to be thinking about the Super Bowl weekend. Whether Los Angeles wins, we wish them well. Whether Cincinnati wins, we wish them well. We wish their city's great and LA is at home. The Super Bowl is in the city, and no one I think has ever won a Super Bowl. Well, maybe they have. I think Tampa won the Super Bowl when they were home, so it can happen again. But it's so meaningless. At the end of the day, there'll be heroes and goats, and some people will make money, some people will lose money. But the Super Bowl that we need to be playing is a Super Bowl of education. We need to really double down on how we train people. Should the school day be longer for a bit? Should there be more extracurricular activities? Should we extend school a bit into the summer? What should we do? Should we cancel winter break and have kids go to school more? What is it we need to do to make certain that as we move forward, things can get better? So I think it's a very good thing to think about. And as you sit home eating your chips and dip and fried chicken and chicken wings and chicken feet and chicken toes and whatever else you possibly eat at the Super Bowl, and drink your Budweiser and drink whatever you drink and watch a bunch of dumbass commercials and watch the game and watch a halftime show. I forgot who was in the halftime show. Whatever you do, I think it's going to be important to think about that. And the same thing in radiology. We've not had meetings. Nobody can watch one more remote thing, okay? Let's be honest. I've not done my meeting in 2 years after 37 years. Should we do it next year? Can we afford to do it? Hotel rates have gone through the roof. Are people willing to travel to go to meetings? I don't know. Let us know. Our usage on CTisus has gone up substantially. You can see we have millions of followers, millions of people, whether it's on YouTube or it's on Instagram or it's on Facebook Live or it's the website. We have people following us, listening and learning, and we take great responsibility and are very happy that we've been able to help during this pandemic, and we helped pre-pandemic, and we're going to help after pandemic. But guys, we need to really look ahead, look forward, and really get back to where we were. Now, again, let's go back to that Steve Jobs story. Ask yourself in the Super Bowl, are you in the Super Bowl? Are you number one? Is your institution number one? Are you training your techs? Are you inspiring your techs? Are you training your residents and training your fellows and training your faculty and training yourself? That's the question for the Super Bowl. And in this game, everybody could be a winner. So with that, let us know how we can help you on CTisus. We're working on all sorts of new things. Going live on YouTube, going live on Facebook. We're going everywhere. We're going long. And we hope to see you along the way. And with that, have a great day. And it's early in the morning, so really have a great day. Have some coffee. Have a bagel. Have fun. Bye, guys.